Hello, everybody. Welcome. Our team is here today to talk to you about our new product, TakeCharge. I am Lauren Woznica.
I'm Clare Knott.
I'm Shane Cloutier.
I'm Evan Motta.
And I'm Mitch Larose. So today, this is what we're going to be talking about, and we look forward to it. So we're going to start with our product concept. So our product is TakeCharge, which is a mobile workstation that features wireless and retractable corded charging capabilities. And we really provide extra value to our consumers with superior convenience, function, and premium aesthetic finish in comparison with our competitors. We'll talk about some of our major competitors a little bit later on in the presentation. Some of our main features are, like we talked about, our retractable cable management system. This utilizes it'll be like basically spools that have pre-stressed power springs under them, which allow the cables that will charge mobile devices to retract in and out of the unit. We have a 10,000 milliamp hour battery that can charge devices with a 20-volt output. So that's enough to charge multiple devices and bigger batteries like a laptop. And the device and the battery within our product is charged by a 110-volt wall plug. That's actually housed in the unit. We'll talk about that a little bit later. That was influenced by some of our market research. And we also have a Qi wireless charging pad that's MagSafe compatible right on the top of the unit.
So for market research, we conducted a survey and a focus group, and here are some of our main findings. The first thing that we found was that the need that we set out to resolve, the pain of lugging around a bunch of disorganized charging cables, is very real, and it is something that customers do care about. Our research showed that the majority of people are always carrying some sort of charging cable around, and many of those people have 2 or 3 or even more cables on hand at all hours of the day, and dealing with those loose cables is a definite problem that we are going to solve. So we also found consumers to be generally approving of our product design. When we revealed our product to our focus group participants, we were met with a very positive reaction. Consumers liked the cable management. They liked the battery capacity. They did have some recommendations that we will go over soon, but they were generally very approving of the product. And we also had a validation of our price estimates. We asked the focus group participants what they thought the product would be worth before we ever gave them any indication towards the price. We got answers ranging from $200 to $250, and that was very validating to our current price estimate of $225. And lastly, one interesting finding was the contrast between a consumer desire for long-lasting products and a hatred of warranties and company guarantees. In our survey, we gave participants a list of 10 product attributes and asked them to rank them on a scale of 1 to 10 based on importance. Long-lasting was the most important attribute with a score of 8.2. This was above price, this was above capacity, this was above charging speed. But warranties and guarantees were actually our lowest ranked at 5.8. So that discrepancy definitely informed how we were going to go about our marketing campaign to make sure that we communicate this value without relying on warranties and guarantees.
So as I cover some of our team's design changes, you guys can feel free to take a look on the right side of the screen and look at some of our focus group quotes that we felt were pretty important, and some of them influenced these changes. So first, we felt that we needed to improve the carrying ability of the device. So you can see below that we actually hollowed out the feet on our unit, which allowed us to put a carabiner through, so it can be attached to the outside of something like luggage, a backpack, a suitcase, for example. We also found that really through our market research, including the focus group and the survey, people wanted to be able to customize and replace cords. So in our final concept, you'll be able to remove the top of the unit and kind of reel back on new cords as they wear out or are damaged, for example, or phased out. So if, example, micro USB is kind of starting to get a little bit phased out and USB-C is a little bit more popular. So if the user needed more USB-C, they'd be able to make that change without buying a full new product. Additionally, we found that the wall plug, the 110 volt, consumers would be willing to sacrifice a little bit of size for that to be retracted within the unit. They felt that if we had a cord that wasn't housed in the unit, it kind of took away from our convenience and all-in-one design. And then we also found that for the Qi wireless charger, people wanted it to be MagSafe compatible, which basically, for those of you that aren't familiar, on the back of newer iPhones and actually like the AirPod Pros, it'll lock the device right on top. And it really just makes sure that it stays charging throughout the entire duration.
So our primary consumer would be young professionals like Joshua Garcia. Joshua is a marketing manager making $120,000 a year. He's often on the road and finds himself working in local coffee shops or at the airport or things like that. Josh is constantly on his computer and using his electronics throughout the day. He often finds his desk to be messy with all of these cords, like the picture in the bottom left-hand corner. He believes it looks unprofessional and needs a change. TakeCharge is the perfect solution for him. Our primary consumer needs are price, function, reliability, usability, support, and security. Young professionals have a need for convenience and function. With constantly being on the road and being remote with these days, the portable aspect is super important and helpful for these professionals. Along with the desire for status, our sleek look is very important. More mobility and smart devices are a part of young professionals' everyday life.
Okay, and now let's get into some societal trends that benefit our company. So first, with COVID-19, there are a lot of potential customers who aren't in the office anymore. They're at home, they're in cafes, they're on the move. And with that, there is a need for mobile power in an organized way, and we can give that. Second, we have the perceived value of organization and premium products. That has never been higher. You can think of the way that Apple's sleek minimalist design has kind of taken over the world. And we're going to kind of mimic that value of organization, aesthetic, kind of clean kind of feel to our products. And lastly, of course, always the mobile technology worldwide is ever on the rise.
Now we're going to discuss our competitive analysis. TakeCharge will be in the consumer electronics industry. This industry was expected to increase 6% in 2021, which is a result of the correlation between the increase in the industry and the increase in electronic devices. As more people get devices, the need for power banks increases. As you can see in the graph on the right, the market size for power banks in different capacity ranges keeps increasing. You can see the difference between 2021 and 2027 and the growth the market will experience. Anker is our largest competitor. For the past 3 years, their PowerCore product has been the biggest selling power bank on Amazon. However, our product offers more features than the PowerCore, which gives us a competitive advantage in the market. On the value map, TakeCharge is exceeding in many categories and is ranked highest for convenience, as you can see. Anker falls short in many categories compared to our product, which gives us the ability to penetrate the market and gain market share. Some key takeaways are, as there's an increasing demand for power banks, it is due in part to the increase in remote work, as Shane has mentioned, and TakeCharge is positioned to compete with our competitors since we aren't just a portable charger, but a portable workstation with features that differentiate us.
And now we're going to talk about the product launch. So we're going to begin TakeCharge with a soft launch on a crowdfunding platform such as Kickstarter or Indiegogo. We want to raise about $50,000 on one of these platforms. Using a crowdfunding campaign allows us to better understand our potential sales number and hone in a little bit better on our target demographic. With that money, we will have more leverage when working with manufacturers as well. So on the campaign itself, we're going to have a very basic ad campaign with images of TakeCharge being used in places like an office, a cafe, or a plane, and we'll provide a simple breakdown video of how the product works with a prototype model. One of the biggest draws for a crowdfunding campaign are the early bird units, which are units that we'll send out right at the beginning of manufacturing for pledges that exceed $175. After our soft launch and we begin manufacturing, our marketing campaign is going to be very simple, very low cost. We're going to send review units to tech YouTubers such as Marquez Brownlee of MKBHD, Linus Sebastian of Linus Tech Tips, and Lou Hirschberg of Unbox Therapy. All of these YouTubers and creators have massive followings and can recommend our product to these people, assuming that they like it. The benefit of this is, again, that there's very low marketing costs. All we really have to do is contact these creators and talk to them about our product and whether or not they want to review it, and then we can just ship it to them. So this is the really fun slide, manufacturing. So the main thing that we're going to have to do is outsource production to an overseas Asian country, most likely, to save on money. However, the price of manufacturing varies very heavily. It depends on how many units need to be produced, where the original parts and materials are coming from, and where they're going to be assembled. As you can see on the right, parts alone are going to cost about $110 per unit, but that is for a small batch order that is less than 10,000 units. But with R&D and FTC approval and then packaging and labor and stuff like that, most likely our total cost per unit will be closer to $130,000 to $140,000. Eventually, with time, we will have manufacturing be refined and streamlined, and we'll have larger batch orders that will bring down the cost of manufacturing significantly. And then once the product is built, we got to get it out to people. Initially, we plan to sell directly from our website. We don't have any plans to put TakeCharge in any brick and mortar stores unless there is an unprecedented desire. Because we'll be working directly off of our website, we're going to have to work with shipping companies like FedEx, UPS, and DHL. And for the time being, customers will most likely have to pay for shipping unless we can broker a deal with these shipping companies for a flat rate fee. To house our product, we're going to try and find space in a shared warehouse on the West Coast. The West Coast is the best option for us because it lessens the cost of international shipping, as domestic shipping is a little bit less expensive. Most likely we'll need about a 5,000 square foot unit, and that is about $1.10 per square foot per month. So that comes out to about $5,500 per month for a warehouse. Eventually, once our product is being consistently manufactured and we have good sales numbers, we would like to move over to Amazon as well as alongside our own website. The appeal of Amazon is that we can use their warehouses and their shipping facilities to save on some cost and to save on some work. Putting our product on Amazon will make it vastly more available, but the downside is that they do take an 8% fee for using their platform.
Okay, now look at our goals, objectives, and financials. So as we discussed, we're going to have this soft launch, and that soft launch is going to solidify our design and get us a better idea of our demand. And we're going to use that information to have much better information for our hard launch. And also that soft launch will give us preliminary sales with which we can solidify our business model, and we can use that to get more funding so we can enable more efficient mass production to pump out the units that we think that we can sell on our hard launch. Within our first year of our hard launch, we have a very ambitious goal of achieving 1% market share. That would be about 450,000 units. And we think that we're up to the task. For long-term goals, we'd like to diversify our distribution. This means establishing relationships with foreign importers, establishing warehouses overseas to cut down on shipping costs and make our availability higher in foreign countries. We want to establish a public presence. This would greatly help the trialability of our product. As it stands, being only online, it's very hard for our customers to interact with our product if they wanted to try it out and see what it's like. But if we were able to establish a public presence, putting our product in airports and in train stations, in schools, it would really boost the opportunity for consumers to interact with the product, see how it works, see how it feels, so they have a better idea when they look to buy it. And we have a million ways that we can extend the product line. We can tinker with the size of the product, the shape of the product, the capacity of the product. We can change the cable system. There's a million ways that we can go with product line extensions, depending on what consumers want. And lastly, with a fast growing company like we expect ourselves to be, there's always the option that a larger competitor will seek to buy our company, and maybe that is an option that we can find valuable in the future. So here's a look at our sales forecasting and our financials. So first year, we expect to sell 480,000 units. That sales forecasting is based on the ATAR model, and we expect that to rise throughout the next few years. And our cost of goods sold is actually based on the higher end. It's a very conservative estimate of price per unit. So in reality, it's most likely going to be lower than that, although it certainly won't be higher. So our contribution margins can only rise. They are definitely a baseline low. And you also get a good idea of our cost structure below, and we will be making a profit in year 2, according to these estimates.
Thank you for your time.